It's time for the Cover Price Top 10. This time we're going back 3 years. All right, guys, we're going back 3 years in this Cover Price video. Got in the description down below. Check out that Cover Price discount code. Check out the discount code for... there's a whole bunch of stuff down there. Just read the description of the video. This list comes to us from our friends from Cover Price. You should definitely use their excellent tool for a comic collector. Absolutely phenomenal. I got nothing else for you. Give me a follow on Whatnot. Give me a follow on eBay. Give me a follow all over the place. Let's get to number 10. This is Star Wars Tales from the Clone Wars webcomic collection. Whew. 3 years ago, Star Wars speculation was booming thanks to The Mandalorian. It was a weekly occurrence for fans to uncover new, updated key issues. While we typically don't cover trade paperback book sales, books that straddle the line of comic and trade paperback do make it into the system. This book features the first Cad Bane, first canon Ahsoka, first canon Asai Ventress, first canon Captain Rex, origin of General Grievous, and first unmasked General Grievous, and there's more, in trade paperback, adding fuel to the fire. Mandalorian Star Wars savior Dave Filoni confirmed that this book is in canon and the cinematic Star Wars universe. With that news, it hit high sales of $500 for a raw copy. 3 years later, fans have refocused their attention on the traditional comic book appearance of the above characters, all seeing significant spikes in value over the last several years. Today, this trade paperback sells for roughly $170 in near mint condition. 9/8 are about $300. This issue may be a bust compared to 2021 sales, but it's not bad as many Star Wars keys fared from the 2021 speculation boom. It's also not easy to find and does retain high market demand. Yeah, this is a tough one to find. Well worth it if you can find it. Let's get to number 9. We're going to blow through this one. This is King in Black, Gwenom vs. Carnage, number 1, the In-Hyuk Lee 1 in 25 variant. Woo! In-Hyuk Lee is one of today's best artists, and he brings plenty of market attention and heat to his various covers. In 2021, his stardom was just beginning to rise. Not known for ratio covers, his 1 in 25 for this cover was an instant hit, hitting a high of $155 raw, $430 for 9.8. A couple months later, that sale came. 3 years later, this now sells for $40 raw, $60 and a 9.8, a clear bust. However, it's important to note that $40 is still a solid price for 1 in 25. It's simply settled into a more steady aftermarket value. However, 9/8 seem to be an excellent value if another comes to market via auction and sells for a similar price. We did 10, we did 9, let's get to 8. This is serial number 1. Terry Moore is a fan favorite writer. Each of his new series tends to have a following. However, stores often underorder them, pushing fans to online sales. This was the case for his 2021 title Serial, which hit highs of $16 raw, $120 for 9.8. That was months later. One would think this was content driven, yet there was never any news or rumors of it being optioned. 3 years later, this now sells for $8 raw, $21 for a 9.8, which is a bust. It is a bust in value as fans who wanted a copy found them and moved on. However, Moore gets a lot of studio streamer attention, so the current prices are excellent for those looking for a copy. It is. Again, we're going quick. Let's get to number 7. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 55. This is from 2021. Patrick Gleason's Scorching Hot 2021 web dominated our top 10 for months after its release. It was also one of the best-selling aftermarket comics of 2021. It sold for highs of $25 raw, $140 for CGC 9.8. 3 years later, it's a bust as that initial demand has waned as there are many copies listed. Yet it still retains solid aftermarket value. $14 raw, $46 and a 9.8. It may be down, but it may not be out. I said we're going quick. Let's keep it up. Let's go to number 6. This is Future State Teen Titans number 1, the Dustin Wynn B variant. Do you recall the high market heat that DC's Future State created? This issue featured the first appearance of the Future State Red X on the last page, and boy, it was hot. As this storyline plays around with the mysterious identity, sold for $20 raw, $120 in a 9.8, that was a couple months later. 3 years later, the Future State is an overall bust. This event was based on canceled 5G initiative, which focused on the current DC heroes who had aged and were replaced with younger heroes. Despite the cancellation of 5G, some elements have been brought into current continuity, like Yara Flores. However, Red X remains in Future State limbo, causing prices to drop to $4 and $45 for 9.8. Red X is a great character and should be mainstream DC. Just my opinion. With that, let's get to number 5. Star Wars: The High Republic, number 1. 3 years ago, a perfectly timed Star Wars High Republic number 1 release at the height of the Star Wars speculation was a speculator's darling. It sold a ton of copies for months after its release and was on the top 10 numerous times, trending at $20 raw, $70 for a 9.8. 3 years later, this has fallen in value to $8 raw, $58 in a 9.8. While that's a bust, it's still a speculator darling and has a ton of long-term value. It's packed with multiple first appearances, so don't rule this one out. So those Star Wars books will get you. They will get you for whether it's good or bad. I mean, there are Star Wars books with first appearances out the wazoo, like this one. There was a lot of first appearances in this book. Not a bad price point if you're getting it between like $5 and $20. Make it happen. I think cautiously optimistic. Hey, but don't take what I say, as gospel. Take it with a grain of salt. Do your own homework. Do your due diligence, and then make an educated decision. But for $5, you could take a stab at it. Let's get to number 4. This is Star Wars High Republic number 1. This is the Stephanie Hans. Like the main cover, this Hans variant was just as hot. Actually, I don't know, it was a little hotter, and also trended at $20 raw, but doubled in price for a 9.8 at $150. 3 years later, it's fallen to $13 raw and $40 for 9.8. It's a bust, but also presents another great buying opportunity. Everything I said about number 5, just use that same stuff for number 4, and we're going to get down to number 3. This is Port of Earth number 1. In March of 2019, Deadline announced that Amazon was developing this Top Cow image series. However, Screen Rant followed that up with the article in 2021 of the 10 most anticipated comic book and graphic novel adaptations and their release dates, which made number 2 on the list, and retweeted by creator Zach Kaplan, reminding collectors that this project was still moving forward. This pushed raws to $15 and graded to $150. 3 years later, there have been no updates since the initial announcement. Both COVID and recent strikes had a huge impact on project development. Where things stand now is unknown, but the market has moved on as sales are very light, with raws trending at $4 and the last 9.8 sale back in June of 2023 for $61. This is a bust. However, Amazon has a better track record at not canceling projects, so there's still hope for this book. Let's get to number 2. This is Haha number 1. 3 years ago, Haha was the hot new series from Ice Cream Man writer W. Maxwell Prince. Despite numerous variants, it sold ton of copies and trended at $35 raw and $130 for 9.8 a few months later because, new book off the rack. CGC was loaded. It took a while to get these books back. This 6-issue miniseries ended a few years ago, taking market values with it. Today, 3 years later, it sells for $6 raw, $25 for a 9.8. It is a bust, and there is absolutely no reason that this one will increase in value, which means if it's something you want, you can confidently say, this is the best price it's going to be. I mean, could it go down a little bit? I suppose, but it won't go up. Before we get to number 1, I would like to say thank you for watching. Even making it this far, I appreciate every single one of you guys hitting the thumbs up, leaving those comments down below. Don't forget to check out covrprice.com. Use the discount code down below. I don't get anything for it. Please don't think that I'm making money on you guys using it. No, it is specifically from Covrprice for you guys, for watching this video. It's there for you. So use it if you're interested. It's a great tool. And with that, let's get to number 1. This is Future State Teen Titans number 1. As stated for the B variant, this issue features the first appearance of the future state Red X on the last page. This storyline plays around with his mysterious identity. This direct edition was incredibly hot. It sold 216 copies at this time 3 years ago, which was very rare for a new release to do in 2021. It hit highs of $23 raw, $130 for a 9.8 in March of 2021. 3 years later, like the variant for this issue, suffered from the cancellation of the 5G plans, leaving Red X in limbo. For now, this is a bust at its current raw value for $4. $4 for raw, $30 for a 9.8. I mean, it would cost you more to get the book graded than it costs to go buy it already in a 9.8. If it's something you want, it's probably at a really good price. Like, how much further down can it go? That's it. That's our list. This was a quick one. I told you we were going through this one fast. Thank you guys for watching. It is very much appreciated. Don't think it isn't. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, keep it comics.